Hello everybody and welcome back to another Monday on Pepp Your Talk. I cannot believe that this is the 10th episode. I keep calling it episodes like it's a show, which I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it a show? Is it just videos? I don't know. But anyway, we're on number 10 today, which is quite mega. 10 is one of my favourite numbers because I'm born on May the 10th. 10 is quite a special number to me. But yeah, we are on 10, which is amazing and scary and crazy, purely because I was never ever going to do YouTube. It kind of came about based on the fact that my web designer was taking the PISS, so I thought, no, I need to do something that I can control. I feel like there's an audience out there, I have content, I might as well just do something and reach out to people right now. And here we are on number 10, which is so crazy to me. But I'm completely happy with how everything has gone. I could not have predicted this journey, but I am 100% loving it. I will not lie, it is hard. Those upload times, 4 hours, it takes 4 hours to get a video up on YouTube, well, with at-home internet anyway. But I have figured out that if I go to a hotel or if I go to like a cool cafe where they have the super fast business internet, it takes 1 hour. Sometimes uploads fail, sometimes there's just drums, and it's on and on and on. But whatever, we've done 10 and I'm proud of that, and thank you for continually watching them because that makes my week every single time. So yay to you. Okay, because we are celebrating the big 1-0 today, I am going to give you guys a bit of a story. It's going to be Dior story time today. And then this story is very personal and it's sad. It was sad for me. It's quite a long time ago now, but at the time it was really sad. I've actually already done a written piece about this story which will go on the website. But then at the same time I thought, no, let me speak about it today because I feel like someone's going to need this encouragement. And I know you guys like a bit of my personal story time and I love sharing the stories with you as well. So why not do it twice? When it goes on the website, read that too. And if you can cast your mind about 3 years back, it's going to take us to when I was in university in my final year, about to do my, well not do, about to complete my dissertation. And all I have to say is there was a lot of tears, there was a lot of stress, and I almost dropped out. But I will not give you a sad story that doesn't have a happy ending, and like I always say, things completely 100% always work out in the end. If it hasn't worked out, it's not the end. With that said, let's get started. I'm from Ghana, which makes me Ghanaian, and I decided to do my dissertation based on that very topic and how my people use kind of clothing to construct identity when on holiday in Ghana, over here, at social gatherings, X, Y, and Z. There were 3 big chapters and I kind of broke down all the different ways Ghanaians construct identity through clothing. One of the main reasons for me choosing this topic was because I have a first-hand account of this type of behaviour, how Ghanaians kind of parade and perform themselves in all their glory. But the second reason why I chose this, which is actually the main reason, was because my teacher had never heard anything like this before. A lot of people would frame their dissertations on the fashion industry, on anorexia and models, how models have changed, all that kind of fun fashion stuff. But I thought, no, I'm going to do something really fresh, really interesting, and something new that's going to capture her interest. My research was thick and thorough. I literally interviewed everybody. I got people together and did focus groups. I did individual interviews. I interviewed Melissa actually, which was quite cool, and that must have been the first time we met. I interviewed my friends, I interviewed all types of Ghanaians from all over the place. I interviewed international students. I literally got so into it because I knew that I wanted it to be a piece of work that I was super proud of. I actually really enjoy writing as well, so I thought this is the perfect opportunity to kind of marry my 2 passions, which are speaking and writing. Actually, writing is not a passion, but it's something I enjoy doing, so why not? I was loving my dissertation and behind the scenes work, and when I got started writing, everything was going fine. Obviously, if any of you have done your dissertations or if you're going to do it next year, bit of advice, you will get writer's block. There will be points where you cannot write anymore, you feel stuck. My advice would be just have a bit of a break, kind of go for a walk, go make dinner, go and sit with your flatmates if you're living at uni. Do something that is so not dissertation related, and when you come back to sit down, honestly, it will flow. It will just flow, and it did for me. And I'm the type of person that when I get like when I sit down to write something, it does kind of take me a while to get into it, and it takes me a while to just creatively flow with it. But with my dissertation, I found that it just kept coming because I had the research to back it up, and I knew what points I was trying to make. So it actually wasn't difficult. Don't let anyone scare you. Mine was 10,000 words. I think I hit 9,800, but that's the end of the story, so let me not spoil it for you. So now, as I was edging towards the end of the dissertation, that's when I really felt stuck. And it wasn't the type of stuck that I had spoken about earlier. I was literally like at a block. And I thought, no, this is not right, because I know what I'm speaking about. I know, I love this topic. Like, I've done all the research, I've read books, I've done this, I've done that. Why are the words not coming to me? So I went into uni and spoke to one of my tutors, and she said, Dior, just get on with it. Like, what are you stuck with? And I said to her, I can't conclude. Like, I've done all the 3 chapters. I think I had about 8,000 words at that point, right? So I only had 2,000 left to do. And I said to her, I've done all the chapters, but I just can't conclude. And she said, what do you want to say? Like, what have you found out through doing all this research? And I knew exactly what I wanted to say. So she was like, okay, say it to me now. And I said it to her. She was like, perfect, go and write that down. So I left uni, went back home, and sat at my laptop again, could not write. It was absolutely crazy. Like, guys, nothing was coming out. I had the baddest writer's block. Obviously, you're gonna get frustrated in that moment. I cried. I went and sat with my housemate, spoke to her about what I wanted to say, and she was like, Dude, just do it. And I was like, okay, cool. Go back into my room, and nothing. I even moved. I remember we had this ladder thing that was at the same height as our kitchen counter. So I moved my laptop to the kitchen, sat there in a brand new space, not in my room, not cooped up, and still nothing was coming. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like I think one day at this point, which is quite naughty because I did leave it quite late, but that's how I am. I do tend to leave things quite late, and I still get them done in the end. This was the exception. Guys, it was absolutely mental. For that one day that I had left, I didn't do it. I did not do it. So the night before, I was trying to complete it, trying my best to do it, and it was not happening. Alright, so who is the first person you're gonna call in this situation? It's obviously gonna be your mum. So I called my mum. I think it was about 1 AM, and I was due to hand it in at 9. I called my mum and I said, look, this isn't happening, and they've changed the rules at uni, so if you don't actually hand in a piece of work, you are going to have to repeat the year. So I just let her know that, look, I'm repeating the year basically, if you don't mind. Of course she minded. She was like, Dior, you have to do it, blah. She was actually really sympathetic, but she was like, no, just try, and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. And she was giving me, she went online and got all this advice. She said, go and get a bucket of cold water and put your feet in it. So I put my feet in this cold water and tried to relax. I don't know what that does. If anyone knows, put it below, put it in the comments, because I have no idea up until this day what that cold water was supposed to do for my life. But anyway, put your feet in the cold water, put it in, nothing was happening. I was like trying to really calm the body down and meditate and become one. No, that did not work neither. So I just cried. I literally, when I knocked on my flatmate's door, I remember Selena, and I said, Selena, I'm not handing it in. And she was like, what, Dior? She was like a little international student, so nice. And she was like, Dior, you have to. And I said, no, I actually don't have to. I'm actually going to bed because I feel like I haven't slept in days. And that was down to Pro Plus. If you've taken Pro Plus before, you know what I'm talking about. Don't even get me started on Pro Plus. That is the devil's bestie. They are one and the same. Pro Plus, I'll never take that thing again. And actually my final year, that's when I decided to drink my first cup of coffee. Whilst I was doing that dissertation, I drank my first ever cup of coffee, because usually I can stay up. I'm quite an energetic person when I want to be. Like, if I need to stay up and get something done, I can. But this dissertation was just, oof, it was hard. I couldn't do it. And it wasn't hard work. It was just pressure, I think. I think I just put way too much pressure on myself for my dissertation to be perfect. And I felt it. Anyway, so I told Selena I was going to bed, and I went to bed. And guess what? Believe it or not, I had a very, very good night's sleep. I had a very peaceful sleep because I said to myself, do you know what, Dior? You can't do it. You haven't got enough time. You're knackered. And it's not working for you. So just relax. Like, really relax. And that put my mind to rest. I literally slept, had a great night's sleep. And woke up the next morning. Selena knocked on my door. She's like, yo, you really not handing in? And I was like, no, I'm not. It's not done anyway. So no, I'm not handing it in. Went into uni after the hand-in time and spoke to one of the tutors, and I sat in her office and I said, I didn't hand in today. And she said, yeah, Dior, we know. How do you know? I was like, oh my God, they know. Anyway, how do you know? And she said, yeah, we didn't see you earlier on. And what's happened? Like, we've read your dissertation, you've come to all your tutorials, you do so well. Like, why? What's happened to you? And I said to her, I don't know. I don't know what's happened. I just couldn't do it. I was at the last hurdle and I fell flat on my face. And she said, you know what? I can tell that you are not yourself. If you saw me, I was disheveled. I was not the woman you see today. I was literally a joke of a human being at that point. I was all over the place. And she said, Dior, pick up your phone and call your doctor. And I picked up my phone and I was just looking at it. You know when you don't, I didn't even know what to do. So she was like, no, Dior, there's honestly something really wrong with you. Go to the doctor, just go to the doctor. And I was like, okay. So I called them and I asked for an appointment. Usually this doctor surgery, you can never get an appointment. Never, unless you are there at 8 AM on the dot, queuing up at the door. You will not get any type of appointment that day. On the phone, the woman was like, oh, hold on. We've just had a cancellation. Do you want to come in 5 minutes? Hell yes. Walked down there. The doctor saw me, took one look at me and was like, you're not well, darling. You're not well, babes. You have situational anxiety. I had never heard of this in my life. Situational who? Anxiety what? Never. But I was like, okay, yeah, okay. Took that doctor's note back to uni and I was given an extension. But let me tell you something. This extension did not come easy, and I'm going to skip out a few steps to make this video short, otherwise I will be here talking for England. Now, this extension was not easy to come by. She literally had to speak to the board. She literally had to go through my records and look at my grades to prove that I was a performing student. She mentioned the fact that I was year rep, class rep. She mentioned the fact that I had been called upon to do special projects that were extracurricular. She mentioned the fact that she had a good personal relationship with me. There was so much that came into play in order for me to have this minor extension. And the thing is, this hand-in date was on a Friday and I went away that weekend not even really knowing if I had the extension. I am someone who constantly needs to be in control. Pray for me because I am working on it. I'm trying my best to work on it. But for me to walk away and come back to London not knowing whether I truly had that extension or not, that was hard. But I had to leave it in her hands and trust that she was going to use all this information and this case that she had that was in my favour to fight for me. Came back now, my sister was home and she was like, Dior, you are bluffing. You must be joking. This dissertation is nothing. I've done one and I've had a kid. I had a baby who was in hospital whilst I was doing my dissertation, okay? How many thousands of students do dissertations every day? You are going to sit at that table and you are going to do your my sister had no sympathy for me whatsoever, but that was great because I needed the tough love. Like, Dior, You're a big girl, like, get it done. Just do it. There's no time for complaining. There's no time for moaning. There's no time for saying, no, the doctor said I've got this. Okay, do you know what? Doctors tell people they've got cancer and they beat that. Just because the doctor's told you you've got situational anxiety doesn't mean we're going to entertain that in this house. You are going to finish this dissertation this weekend, and on Monday, you will hand it in. That was my sister, right? So I sat down and she said, look, what did you speak about in chapter 1? And I said, this, that, and the other. She said, right, write that down. It was literally like a military operation. And I was there crying the whole time. I cried for 2 days straight. My face was soggy. It was disgusting. Okay. Chapter 2, what did you write, Dior? I told her, write that down. Chapter 3, what did you write? I told her. She said, now what other correlations, what lines do you see running through all of this? And I said, okay, I see this. And she said, write it. I said, I can't write it. She said, Dior, yes you can. Write it. And I sat there for 2 days. And in 2 days, I wrote my 1,000 word conclusion. No, it was more than that actually. About 2,000 words. Conclusion. And it was done. And on Monday I went back not knowing whether I had this extension or not. Not knowing whether I had done enough. You know, like although she had all this great stuff to say about me, was that enough? And I'm pleased to tell you that it was. I was granted the extension, and literally I could not have been happier, because I would have thrown away 2.5 years of good work. So like I said, I have skipped out a few parts of the story. But honestly, if I ever do go into that much detail with you again, maybe I'll get my own show and we'll do this for 1 hour, who knows. But every single thing aligned in order for this extension to be possible. Everything. And you know what the best part was about the whole thing? I got an A. I got a first for my dissertation. They absolutely loved it. So now you're thinking, why did you just tell us that whole story? Okay, I said that to say this. No matter where you go, always consider your reputation. At uni, I always wanted to be teacher's pet. I always wanted to be the best. No, I'm joking. Actually made a point of having genuine interactions with my tutors, because it's not just about going to uni and making friends, but it's about getting the grade, and these people know how to help you get it. So why not get close to them? Why not have a good relationship with them where it's not just, you're not just another student, you are someone, you count. That was that. And my point is that wherever you go, guys, make sure that you have a good reputation. I was about to say representation. No, my word is reputation. Actually, represent and reputation is quite the same. But make sure that you try your best to try your best every single day, every single time, because people are watching you, and when it is time for them to fight for you or stand up for you or plead a case on your behalf, you don't know what they're going to say. That may never happen, but who knows? You want them to have the best picture of you in their mind. I never did any of that stuff thinking that one day that is what's going to save my degree ultimately. I never ever thought that. I just thought I genuinely enjoy doing these things. I enjoy the interaction with the tutors, and I want to do some external stuff and get a little bit of experience in different things, and which is why I did it. Lord, only God knew that one day it was going to be used in the case of fighting for whether I get to stay on the course and complete it. So that was absolutely crazy. And another thing I would say is don't put too much pressure on yourself. Unnecessary pressure could definitely be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Imagine putting in all that work, 2.5 years worth, almost at the end, almost at the last hurdle, and then I fall flat on my face. A, it's embarrassing, and B, it's such a waste of energy. Channel your energy into something positive, like praise yourself on a daily basis. Read back over what you've done, and this can apply to other things other than dissertations. It can apply to almost everything in life. We put so much pressure on ourselves that ultimately we just kind of end up quitting because we feel like we're not going to live up to our own standard, and that's how I felt. So what I would really encourage for you guys is kind of take some time out. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, whenever you have time to actually take time, and think about your reputation, whether it's in your education, or whether it's in your career, or whether it's with your family or your friends, anywhere that really matters to you, and think, what am I saying about myself? What am I putting out there about myself? And it's not like, oh, what do people think about me in that sense? It's more of a control thing. What am I saying about me? What can I do to project who I want to be seen as? It's not about giving other people the control. That's completely not what I'm saying. But you have a certain power within yourself that can be projected to other people through the things that you do. And it's so amazing to really take full control of that and say, do you know what? I think I'm being seen as who I want to be seen as based on what I do day to day. And that's really what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you liked that message and that story. Next week there is not going to be a video, and I am saying this now, I'm preparing for it, and it's because I actually need to allow myself some time to plan stuff. This YouTube stuff, as I said, it was not my plan. I completely was never gonna go for this, but I am loving it so much, and that's purely because of one thing, which is you. You guys are really being really responsive, and I appreciate you to the core. Like, honestly, thank you so much. So over the next week, I'm actually gonna take time out, like I'm telling you to do, and I'm gonna work on what I really want to project for Pepp Your Talk. We're gonna come up with solid topics. I'm gonna really get some really cool and good people on here to give you guys the info you need. But those things take time, so I'm gonna say bye-bye in this video and say hello to you, not next Monday, but the Monday after. You can completely catch me on Instagram at Pepp Your Talk. You can catch me on Twitter. I'm a bit quiet on there. But yeah, you can catch me there too. If you have anything you want to say to me, I usually give people my mobile number because it's better to have a nice chat with you guys. But you can send me an email as well, and I'm still going to be around. I'm giving this whole speech as if I'm disappearing forever. It's just a 1 week break. But it's a break on here to do other stuff and to get stuff really ready and prepared for you. The website will be coming really soon as well, so I need time to work on that. But for now, thank you again. I hope you've been enjoying. We are at number 10. Like I said, it's so crazy. So crazy to me. But I'm loving it. So thank you. And I will see you when I see you, which will be very soon. Bye-bye.